Hadithi hadithi.
Hadithi njoo.
Hadithi hadithi.
Hadithi njoo.
Paukwa.
Pakawa.
Sahani.
Ya mchele.
Giza.
Ya mwizi.
Kiboko.
Ya mtoto mkorofi. Outa.
Can I tell you a story?
Get on with this. Get on with this. Opi uyaide. Lukama. Opi uyaide. Lukama.
Nakupenda, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe, nakupenda, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe. They say that where there is love, there is no darkness. Thank you and welcome to another edition of Fishmonger Stories. My name is George, but I go by the name of Fishmonger Stories. Today I have 4 itsy-bitsy African riddles to see if you are smarter than an average African child, and then we get into a story. But first things first. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment, and share these stories. If we create value upon your life, all we're asking is that you return the favor by liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing this video with anybody that could use a story that entertains, challenges, and transforms them. Are you ready? Riddle number one comes from Ethiopia. The capital city of Ethiopia is Addis Ababa. Now, one thing about Ethiopia is that Ethiopia is one of the 2 countries in Africa that was never colonized during the scramble of Africa. This is a riddle from Ethiopia. You must break me before you can use me. Who am I? You must break me before you can use me. Who am I? I want you to think like an Oromo child. You must break me before you can use me. Who am I? You must break me before you can use me. Who am I? Think like an Oromo child from Ethiopia. The answer is an egg. Yes, you have to break an egg before you can use. Think like an Oromo child. My riddle number two comes from Liberia. Yes, Liberia is the 2nd country in Africa that was never colonized during the scramble of Africa. The capital city of Liberia is Monrovia. This is the riddle from Liberia. What goes up and down without moving? It goes up and down without moving. What goes up and down without moving? Yes, I want you to think like a Pele child from Liberia. Think like a Pele child. What goes up and down without moving? What goes up and down without moving? Think like a Pele child from Liberia. The answer is the ladder. Yes, the ladder goes up. I've shared this riddle before. The ladder goes up and down without moving. Riddle number 3 comes from Botswana. Botswana is a country located in southern side of Africa. Botswana is located right in the middle of Kalahari Desert. Can you imagine 80% of Botswana is a desert? Yes, 80% of Botswana is in the Kalahari Desert. My riddle from Botswana is this. I have a friend. My friend teaches me everything. But my friend, he cannot speak or talk. Who is my friend? I have a friend. My friend teaches me everything I know. But my friend, he cannot talk or speak. Who is my friend? I want you to think like a Tswana child from Botswana. Think like, don't think any other. Think like a Tswana child from Botswana. I have a friend. My friend teaches me everything I know. But my friend, he cannot talk or speak. Think like a Tswana child. Think. Yes, my friend teaches me everything I know. But my friend, he cannot talk or speak. Who is my friend? If you said the answer is the book. Yes, the book is your friend. Yes, the book teaches you everything that you know. But the book does not talk or speak. Just take it easy. Riddles are supposed to take you from one culture to another culture, transform you instantly to a place that used to be familiar, and now that you're a grown up, you tend to forget. But that's what riddles do. Are you ready for riddle number 4 and my final riddle from North Africa, in a country known as Tunisia? Yes, the capital city of Tunisia is Tunis. This is the riddle from Tunisia. Are you ready? What goes up and never comes down? What goes up, it will never come down. Yes, I want you to think like an Arab Baba. An Arab Baba in Tunisia. Arab Baba in Tunisia. What goes up, it never comes down. Hint, hint. It's not taxes. Sometimes, taxes, you get a tax break or something, taxes go down. But no, this goes up. It never goes down. The answer is your age. Yes, your age always goes up. It never comes down. Thank you for indulging me in these African riddles. Now, are you ready for a story? Can I tell you a story?
Hadithi njoo. Hadithi njoo.
Paukwa.
Pakawa.
Sahani.
Ya mchele.
Giza.
Ya mwizi.
Kiboko.
Ya mtoto mkorofi. Outa.
Can I tell you a story?
Get on with this. Get on with this. Opi uyade. Lukama. Opi uyade. Lukama.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nikwaramuki. Oh, once upon a time, there was a very wealthy man. This man, he had so much gold. This man, he had so much diamonds. This man, he had so much silver. Can I tell you a story? This man, he had everything except a wife. Yes, he had everything except a wife. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, his wife died, leaving behind a son. And so, this wealthy, rich man, he raised his son all by himself. And as he raised his son, he thought, one day, I too will join my wife, leaving behind my son with all this gold, all this silver, all this diamond. One day, while the rich man was in his deathbed, he called his one and only son and said,
Son, promise me. You know I'm on my deathbed, but son, You know I'm going to leave behind all this gold, all this silver for you. Promise me, son, when you get to an age, before you get married, do not consult with the women from the east. Do not consult with the women from the west. Do not consult with the women from the north. Do not consult with the women from the south. Before you get married, son, go to my best friend. And my best friend will help you find a wife, a soulmate, a woman best meant for you. Do not consult with the women from the east. Do not consult with the women from the west. Do not consult with the women from the north. Do not consult with the women from the south. Go to my best friend, and my best friend will find you a wife, a soulmate, a wife best meant for you.
And the young man, he put his hands deep in his father's thighs and said,
Father, I promise you, before I get married, I will consult with your friend, and your friend will help me find a wife, a soulmate, best meant for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rich man, he died, leaving behind his son with all this gold, with all this diamond. The son, he grew up to be a handsome, eligible young man. And when it came time for him to get married, can you imagine? Young, handsome, young man with all this gold, all this silver, all this diamond, being able to do anything with anyone at any time. What would you do if you were in this young man's position? Young, handsome, eligible, strong, with all this money, all this gold, all this silver. What would you do? But the young man, he remembered the promise that he made to his father. And therefore, he consulted with his father's best friend. He went to him and said,
I made a promise to father and told him before I get married, I will come to you and you will help me find a wife, a soulmate, a wife best meant for me.
And his father's friend said,
I will do exactly that.
And so his father's best friend, he searched high and low, eventually found a woman. The night before the wedding, his father's best friend told him,
young man, the wife you're going to marry is in the guest house. Tonight, before the wedding, tomorrow, I want you to go to the guest house. The wife is in there. The door is closed, but there is a stone right in front of the door. If you can move that stone away from the door and go inside, that is the wife you're supposed to marry. If you can move that stone by the door, send that woman away. She's not the wife you're supposed to marry. Send her away,
said the man. That day, that evening, the young man, he went to the guest house. And he came closer and closer to the guest house. He peeked inside through the window. And he could see inside the guest house was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in his life. The woman was so beautiful. Long luscious hair, wearing a silk robe. And she was singing beautifully like an angel. And the young man, he said,
This is the woman I'm going to marry. Alhamdulillah,
he said. Glory be to God, he said. He looked at the woman and he looked at the stone by the door. The stone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nikwaramogi, the stone was not a big stone. The young man, strong, he said, I'm going to move this stone so I can marry the woman inside that house. He crouched down to move the stone. And he pushed the stone. The stone could not move. But the stone could not move. He pushed again. with all his strength, all his might. But the stone could not move. He tried again, all his strength, all his might. But the stone could not move. He knew, this is not the wife for me, and he sent her away. Time passed, and the search was on again for another wife. Months elapsed, and the old man, he came to the young man again and said,
Son, I found another woman for you.
Same instruction.
Tonight before the wedding tomorrow, she's sitting at the guest house. If you can go and move the stone by the door, go inside. That is the woman best meant for you. If you can't move that stone by the door, send her away.
Said the old man to the young man. This time, the young man, he cab loaded. He ate everything that could give him strength. And he went closer and closer that evening to the house. He peeked through the window. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nyikwaramogi. Oh, the woman inside the house was equally beautiful. Beautiful. And dressed magnificently. A shining gown, long beautiful hair. And the young man, the woman inside, was not singing. No, she was playing an harp beautifully, making melodies. Oh, the young man, he said, this is the woman I'm going to marry. He looked at the stone in front of the door. And the stone, ladies and gentlemen, was not big either. He said, all I have to do is move this stone. And he crouched down to move the stone so he could marry the woman inside the house. Oh, he bent down and he tried to push the stone. But the stone could not move, and so the young man is sent her away. The young man was growing dejected and worried. At this time, thoughts started coming into his mind. I will never marry. At this rate, I will probably die without ever getting married. At this rate, I will never marry and find a wife best meant for me. And the search continued. It wasn't long after weeks and months, they found another woman. And the old man gave the young man the same instructions.
The woman you're going to marry is in the guest house. Tonight before the wedding tomorrow, if you can go into the guest house and move the stone by the door, then that is the wife best meant for you. That is your soulmate. But if you can't move the stone, son, send her away. She's not the wife best meant for you. She's not your soulmate. Send her away.
And this time, the young man came in, a little concern, some fear in his eyes. He looked through the window. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nyikwaramogi, the woman inside the window was equally beautiful like all the other women. This woman, she wasn't singing, she wasn't playing an harp, but she was sewing on a quilt. She was sewing on a quilt, reminding the young man of how his mother used to sew quilts and how he used to run and play in the desert with the camels. And this, he looked and saw the woman and he said, this is the woman I'm going to marry. And he looked down at the stone by the door, and the stone wasn't big either. He looked down at the stone, but the stone wasn't big either. And so he crouched down to move the stone by the door. Oh, the young man, he went down, crouched down, and tried to push the stone away from the door. But the stone could not move. He tried again. But the stone could not move. He tried again. Harder, harder, harder. But the stone could not. He tried again. But the stone could not move. And the young man, he knelt down, tears coming out of his eyes. He started crying. This is the last straw, he thought to himself. I will never marry again. And as he was crying and sobbing, a silhouette image from the corner of his eyes, he looked up, and it was the woman who was inside the house. He looked up with tears welling and falling down, running down his cheeks. And the woman looked down at him. And the woman said, "Hello, how can I help you? I heard someone crying and I came out through the window. Why are you kneeling down in front of the door crying?" said the woman. And the young man said,
I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move. I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move. I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move. I want to move this stone, but the stone, he rumbled, I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move. I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move. I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move. Cried the young man, I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move. I want to move this stone, but the stone will not move.
And the young bride, he knelt down and said, I'll help you. She knelt down and helped the young man pick the stone up and move it away from the door. Just like that, the two of them easily moved the stone away from the door. And then it dawned on the young man,
This is my soulmate. This is my wife. This is the wife best meant for me. A woman who can help me move the stone away from the door. This is the wife. This is my soulmate.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nikwaramogi, finding a soulmate is great. Finding your best mate is important, but finding a woman who can help you move the stone away from the door and work together, that is what is the most important thing in life and in marriage. Finding a partner who can help you pick up the stone and move it away from the door, that is the most. A wife, a soulmate who can help you easily pick up the stone and move it away from the door. That is the most important thing in life and in marriage. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and he obtains a lot of favor wherever he goes. He obtains favor with the gods everywhere he goes. There's an African saying that goes like this: before you get married, keep both eyes open. After you marry, close one eye. Before you get married, keep both eyes open. After you marry, close one eye. Ladies and gentlemen, love covers a multitude of sin. Where there is love, there is no darkness. nakupenda, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe, nakupenda, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe, nakupenda, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe. Until then, God bless. Love one another and take care of one another. Nakupenda, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe. Bayeti,
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 Bayeti Nkosi, Bayeti, King of Kings, Bayeti, Bayeti Nkosi, Bayeti Nkosi is King of Kings.
Who
Can match your greatness?
who
Can know your power? Who can search your riches? Who can deny you a crown? Lord of all.